Well, welcome back. We're taking your plant and garden questions on the WQAD Facebook page right now because we have Craig Hignight here answering all those questions. We're going to pick up where we left off. Carla, why a pair of tree? Why on some of the leaves on her tree are turning black like they're dying? What would cause that?
Oh, this could be just a late onset or what with the hot, humid weather we're having. There could be some fungus there, but if it's very few leaves, it's not something that I would get really worried about. If you want to go ahead and use a broad spectrum fungicide on the tree, it's definitely not going to hurt anything. Also, you can overwater. And quite often, overwatering will start to show up as black spots, black edges, and black leaves on a plant. So if you have been watering, be careful.
Good advice there. Virginia says, my phlox are done blooming. What do I do so that they bloom next year?
Okay, the important thing with garden phlox is that you deadhead. As soon as they are done blooming, cut the flowers off. You do not. They are prodigious seed producers. And if the babies start growing, they're all going to come out a nasty lavender. So take the seed pods off. That food should be going down into the ground to produce next year's growth anyway, so deadhead. That's the important thing.
I think we get this question every week, but when can I transplant a hydrangea?
Yes.
Hydrangea. Well, the best time is in the spring, just as the leaves are starting to show. You're going to have to cut it down. So you're going to sacrifice some blooms on this hydrangea, depending on the variety. But you're going to try and move it with a nice big gob of soil on the roots, out of the ground, back in the ground, and guess what? Root stimulator.
Yes.
You know. So, but do cut it back when you move it to take the pressure off the damaged root system.
Don't forget that step. This is from Barbara. Can I put pesticide on my birch tree, or should I wait until the fall, worried about bugs killing my tree?
Well, it's actually starting to get, it's a little late. We don't have that many weeks before Mother Nature is going to start shutting down the system for the season. The important thing is to get the insecticide, the tree and shrub protector on at the first sign of bud break in the spring. That gives all season for this chemical to get into the tree and protect it from insects.
Sharon says, our garden only gets between 2 and 3 hours of sun. Are there any tomatoes that would grow well in mostly shade?
No.
No.
Unfortunately. I've had a couple of people in this year and they have, you know, sited their garden where they're getting less than 5 to 6 hours of sun a day, and it has just been, and it will always be, an uphill struggle. If you want to grow good tomatoes, 6 to 8 is the number to remember, and that's the fewest hours of sunlight that your plants are going to need to produce well.
From Willow, how can I help fruit trees that were badly damaged by the beetles? Will they survive?
They will survive. I've seen trees that were practically totally defoliated. They will come back. There again, invest some water when the rains stop along in August and September. Maybe a little bit of fertilizer this time of the year to go ahead and let them help build back up. And remember, one of the most important waterings we do is December 1st to 15th. That gets the ground thoroughly wet, lets the plant take up as much moisture as it can before the ground actually freezes, so they're well hydrated before the ground freezes and we go into the winter freezer burn situation.
Got it. Nancy, we talked about blossom end rot at the beginning, so when our digital team posts this later, you can re-watch that portion. Julia asks, what is the best time of year to plant a new tree?
Actually, any time, especially when you start getting some decent sales, which are going to start pretty soon. All nurseries want to clear out in the fall. The important thing is plant them properly. The soil line that's in the container should be exactly the soil line in your yard. You don't want to plant them too deep. That can really damage the tree. Use your root stimulator. Watch your watering. Make sure that they're watered in thoroughly, and then definitely get that mulch around them to help the plant not have to compete with weeds and grass. And the first few years that it's in the ground, make sure that you wrap the trunk to go ahead and prevent it from our little critters in the garden and winter burn and freeze cracking in the spring.
Well, Craig, your expertise always amazes me. It's like we could throw anything at you and you just know the answer, so I love that. So thank you so much.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And be sure you join our Facebook Live with Craig each and every Wednesday. There you can submit your questions and be a part of the conversation.